this video, we're going to be talking TIE Fighters. On a recent audio podcast episode of Kessel Run Collecting, we covered all the different variations of TIE Fighters made by Kenner and Hasbro for the 3 3/4 inch figure lines. While gathering photos for this video, I realized we did miss one or two, so I'm going to cover those as well. A special thanks to RebelScum.com's photo archive for many of the pics. Before we get started, please subscribe to Kessel Run Collecting on Apple Podcasts or Spotify for our audio show. And of course, subscribe here as well. In 1998, we get the first release of the basic TIE Fighter. It's molded in white. The cockpit features a two-piece canopy, and a lever can be used to raise and lower the pilot's seat. Decals were used to replicate the solar panels on the wings. This TIE Fighter had electronics powered by two AA batteries. The addition of the electronics made it necessary to have a large tab behind the cockpit, which was highly inaccurate to what was seen on screen. However, a really cool play feature is the pop-off wings, which are still a staple of most TIE Fighter toys of this scale today. In 1979, we get Vader's TIE Fighter. No attempt at screen accuracy here. They simply slapped a different set of wings on the same cockpit mold. They made this TIE in a dark gray color. All other features are the same. 1982, the basic TIE Fighter is re-released, this time in a bluish color. Additional decals were provided if you wanted to add battle damage to the vehicle. These additional battle damage decals were also a feature for a re-release of Luke's X-Wing fighter. 1984 brings us the TIE Interceptor. Once again, no update to the cockpit or features, just a new set of wings. This time around, the Interceptor came molded in a light gray color. The basic TIE Fighter returns in 1997 in the Power of the Force 2 line. While the cockpit remains mostly the same, the electronics were removed, although the battery compartment tab was still there. Also removed was the ability to raise and lower the seat. Wings were updated, ditching the solar panel decals for actual sculpted-on detail. This version was molded in a bluish color. 1997 also brought us a 100% new version of Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. This was much more accurate to what was seen on screen, and it featured two firing missiles and pop-out cannons. Despite its age, I think this sculpt still holds up rather well. It's molded in a medium gray color. In 2001, we get the return of the TIE Interceptor in the Power of the Jedi line. This version reuses the Power of the Force 2 basic TIE Fighter's cockpit, and just like it did, the Interceptor also gets new wings that have sculpted detail rather than the decals for the solar panels. It was molded in a light gray color. In 2002, an all-new TIE joins the fleet with the release of the TIE Bomber in the Power of the Jedi line, and the following year in the Saga line. Both releases were Walmart exclusives and molded in a bluish color. 2003, the basic TIE is back in the Saga line. The cockpit has now been updated. The unused battery compartment tab is gone, and the back of the cockpit is now more screen accurate. This version, again, a bluish color, and was a KB Toys exclusive. It was reissued as a non-exclusive the following year in the original trilogy collection. 2005, the basic TIE is back with a big update. While it reuses the previous cockpit, the wings are now much bigger. Some, including myself, would say that they are very oversized. This was a Target exclusive and came in a blue color. The following year, 2006, we get a re-release of this TIE Fighter, with the only difference being it's a Toys R Us exclusive and now molded in a light gray. In 2006, Darth Vader's TIE gets re-released in the Saga 2 line. The mold is the same as before, with only some slight paint upgrades. 2007, the basic TIE is re-released in the 30th Anniversary Collection. We go back to the smaller wing size. Minor update to the cockpit is that it now has a one-piece canopy that can open to either side. This version is molded in white. This canopy update also gets used for the re-release of the TIE Interceptor the same year. This version, however, is from the 181st and features large red stripes down the wings and is molded in gray. It also comes with an exclusive TIE pilot. The 30th Anniversary Collection keeps it going this year with a Target exclusive re-release of the TIE Bomber. It is now molded in a gray color. 2008, the Legacy Collection brings us back the basic TIE Fighter again as a straight reissue from the previous year. We also get a reissue of the Saga 2 version of Vader's TIE Fighter. In 2009, the Legacy Collection also brings back the Big Wing TIE Fighter in white. However, we now get another major cockpit update. The canopy is all new and opens towards the back. The interior includes a lot more detail like control yokes and a removable ejection seat. This version of the TIE Fighter is unique in that the windows are a tinted red color. The Interceptor is back in 2009 as well. Color remains gray, but it's updated to include the new cockpit design. Jump ahead to 2011 in the Vintage Collection. We now get the new cockpit being used on a small wing TIE. Molded in white, this was a Target exclusive. 2013, the Interceptor comes back in the Vintage Collection packaging. No changes were made since previous release. This was an Amazon exclusive. 2014, we get the Inquisitor's TIE Advanced prototype in the Rebels line. This ship has the distinct ability to fold the wings for landing. In 2015, we get an all-new First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter. Although cramped, this was a two-seater. Like many before it, this featured the pop-off wings. A variation with sandy paint deco was also released as a Toys R Us exclusive. 2016 adds a new model to the fleet with the TIE Striker from Rogue One. It's molded in a blue color, and the only release of this TIE to date. 2017's The Last Jedi line brings us the only release of Kylo Ren's unique TIE Striker. In 2018, we got an all-new TIE Fighter mold in the Solo line. In my opinion, this is the most accurate cockpit-to-wing ratio in scale. It's molded in a gray color, and rather than just popping off the wings, the cockpit itself breaks in half. This was a pretty nice TIE. However, the wings were made from a very rubbery plastic. Mine were warped so bad I returned both that I bought. And I have a feeling that this rubbery material may start breaking down over time. We also got another Vintage Collection release the same year as a Walmart exclusive using the most up-to-date cockpit and the large wings. This was molded in a gray color. Well, that does it for this video. I'm not a TIE Fighter fanatic or anything, so I was in for a bit of a surprise when I started down this particular rabbit hole. I had no idea just how many different slight variations were made over the years. So if you've picked up some loose TIE Fighters over time and you're just trying to figure out what release they came from, hopefully this video will help. I know there are a few releases that I may have missed. For example, there was a Trench Run 2-pack that came with Luke's X-Wing and Vader's TIE Fighter. The color may have been different on Vader's TIE, but otherwise it was the same as all the others. There's still other TIE variations that haven't been made, like the popular TIE Defender or the Mining Guild TIE. In the old EU, there was even the TIE Crawler. And if you'd like one of those, then visit Hole in the Ground Productions, where you can buy a resin kit to make one. It's a great way that you can get some use out of an old beater TIE cockpit you may have lying about. And while you're there, check out over 100 other diorama and prop kits.